What's up, people? This is your boy Dope Seed with another episode of Common Sense Conversation. And from the other videos I put out, I gotta learn how to talk slower because I be talking fast. It's just my natural flow. So today I'm putting out random thoughts, stuff I didn't get to from the last video I put out, which I had a whole list. Okay. So this is just a bunch of stuff that I've been thinking about, randomly. It is just, you sitting on your couch or you sitting on your job site and you just think about shit that shit you thinking about that's just not going right. And I don't know. I got a platform, or I got a very little platform, so I'm gonna put it out. Okay. My first platform was about. My first topic is about Charleston White. I like this brother. Damn near everything he say, I agree with. I really do. I looked at him, call out gang bangers, and I sort of see through the character to the man and what he trying to really speak on, because he speak on a lot of real shit. He done been to prison. He done some real shit. He done been through the violence and this, and So when he get to talk cussing out Farrakhan, cussing out gang bangers, I sort of, I know it ain't to his heart. He ain't speaking from the heart. But the underlying message I actually do see. I do. And the one thing that he did that I really disagreed with was Kevin Samuels, when he was calling out Kevin Samuels. Because, Kevin Samuels right now is talking about women, how can I say this? Women being women and recognizing that you're really here for me. You can have all the success, you can have all the businesses, all the money, but if you ain't sharing that with a man and some kids, then you're really unsuccessful, because that's what you was put on this earth to do. And Charleston came at Kevin with, your grandmother is supposed to do that. Your grandmother is supposed to teach these women. Not no man is supposed to tell these women what to do. It's your grandmother. But what I think that Charleston is failing to realize, that the grandmother not doing that no more. This a new breed of grandmothers. Your grandmother might be 45, the daughter might be 23, and the grandkid might be 10. So there's no wisdom in that household. And we not living like, I think Charleston is around about the same age I am. I'm over 50. So back then, grandmother was grandmother. And she cleaned, she cooked, she groomed, and she waited on granddaddy. Now she might have had a job, but ultimately the head of the household was granddaddy. So that was that was when real women was around. She wasn't bucking the system. Granddaddy might go get a haircut on a Saturday or Friday, and she might not see him no more because he was out doing business. I don't know. He might have been doing business with his homeboys. He might have had another whole household. I don't know what granddaddy was doing, but ultimately he took care of his house first, and women understood that. So we don't have them same kind of grandmas. We don't have the grandmother I come up with is not nearly about the grandmother that we got today, and the daughter, and the daughter's daughter. Because man, a 40-year-old woman these days is not a 40-year-old woman in the 70s. It's just not. So I think Charleston is living in the old days, and he not giving this man his just due for what he's trying to do or what he's trying to communicate. He basically trying to take it back to what women were women, because the I've had some $100,000 women. Like, okay, yeah, I make $100,000, and you still gotta ask me to help you on something, some shoes, a light bill, or something. So yeah, you make $100,000, but goddamn, you don't know how to manage it. So I understand when he say, man, that ain't what we looking for. I don't care how much money you making because most time the money you making you can't manage it. So you still need me or want me to build you a structure. So I don't get with that. That's her value. Okay, well, man, this motherfucker making so much money, and and Kevin Samuel tell you in a minute, men ain't looking for that, which they not. We looking for peace, obedience, trust, and comfort. If you making all this money, me and my homeboy had a we had a I always had to say it. Look, I take that lie back. Me and my homegirl was talking about that, and I was like, man, I'd rather have Whoopi Goldberg that's fucking and sucking some dick and satisfying me than the Beyonce just laying there and ain't doing a goddamn thing with just looking good. And I don't mean that to disparage Whoopi, because Whoopi was a beautiful girl to me. Whoopi's still a pretty girl to me. But the media that made her look toward the point where she ugly. Man, Whoopi wasn't no ugly girl. Whoopi was pretty as fuck coming up in the game. So that was some bullshit. Whoopi was a beautiful motherfucker. And it just goes to my saying, I'd rather have Whoopi fucking and sucking dick and riding his dick than the Beyonce I gotta beg for some pussy. You know what I'm saying? Another question I'm asking myself. You had the whole Jeff Garcia incident where he was calling out, I think, Mina Kimes. And I respect Mina because I think she one of the few chicks that actually do her homework on football, on sports, or whatever the case. Um, but I wonder how many dudes that work at ESPN and Fox and all these other big sports stations agree with Jeff. Like on the cool, you can't say it because it's politically incorrect for you to agree with Jeff. But I wonder how many big time athletes that be on these shows that say, man, you know what? If you ain't been between these lines, or you ain't never played sports, or you never played football or basketball to the degree I have, what the fuck do you know about it? I'm pretty sure it's a whole lot of more people, a whole lot of more athletes that think, like, man, bitch, what the, do I really want your opinion? But it's not politically correct to say that right now, especially in these time, because your ass get canceled, you come against these women. So but I truly believe that it's a whole lot of more dudes that think on the lines of Jeff Garcia than not. Like, I know I've been on job sites that you catch one woman come into our break room and it changed the whole conversation about what we did on the weekend, what we doing on the week, our political what I'm trying to say, the way we think about politics and the way we think about women, man, if she ain't there, like, man, y'all fuck this bitch, and I was going for her, and and I try to fuck her mama or whatever. But when a woman come in, you can't say all that shit. You can't be the real you. A woman would change the whole attitude of a break room or a job site. I know that for a fact. Cause I'll be honest with you. Every woman that I have worked with, they hate me in the end. They don't want to work with me no more. They can't stand my guts because I refuse to take on dumb ideas to make my work longer or more difficult just to appease a woman. So I've never gotten, and that's not to say that it ain't some good women out there in construction because there are plenty. I'm just saying I hadn't worked with one yet. So I know a lot of these dudes in these platforms on ESPN, Fox Sports, and all these other places that sometimes look at these women like, well, I saw one lady get her ass ate up on ESPN. Well, I ain't gonna call her name because the last time I came up with the whole list, it wasn't politically correct. It really wasn't. I called a couple of women bitches and all this kind of stuff, and that's not really what I'm about. I'm not about criticizing people. I'm just trying to bring you the real about what's going on. So I know it's a whole lot of these dudes, especially the ones that played in the NBA and the NFL at a high level. I know that they're in agreement with Jeff Garcia more than not. And I know they've had some stories that they can't tell in while they're relaxing until a woman is not around or they with their homeboy because it's not politically correct. But point is, I bet you it's way more people that agree, way more men that agree with Jeff Garcia and his opinion about things that than not. But you can't express it because you might get canceled. One more thing I want to ask, and I'm not trying to be a racist, but I'm just wondering: do black men fonder over white women like that? Like they try to make you think in all these shows? Um, I done had a few white women, and for the most part, they pussies. Okay, the ones I've had can't take a lot of dick. Um, their bodies are not firm like black women. Um, Short story. I had a girl in Austin, Texas. This is what made me quit fucking with white women altogether. But I had a woman in Austin, Texas, and I got her in. I had her in a dog style, and I'm beating that pussy up, and I'm slapping her ass like really, really slapping her like I do black girls. And when I finished, man, I saw her, and her ass was so red, like I had seemed like I had broken a couple of blood vessels in her ass because I'm slapping. I mean, we having some violent sex. And she saw it and she looked in the mirror. She's like, "Oh, not look what you done to me." Now, granted, she was a young white girl and she enjoyed it, but I'm looking like, man, if she go to the police right now, I could go to jail forever. And I guess that what snapped me out of making dumb decisions. Not to say it was a dumb decision because she was a good character chick, but man, I really couldn't got in trouble if she wanted to press me. Even 2 or 3 days later, if I had made her mad or disappointed or some way, she could have said, "Hey, nigga, you going to jail for this shit here." So, I, man, I just want us to make good decisions. I'm an old black dude. I done made some bad decisions, and I want some of our young brothers to make better decisions than you have seen it time after time. Now I know we're in an era to where we're trying to erase race and you're trying to um, not be as biased against people, for their skin color and all this other kind of stuff. But do we really fondle over white women and other races like we do our sisters? Cause I ain't never saw nothing as beautiful as a sister. I've never saw nothing as beautiful as that bubble ass. And she can take a pounding and she can take a beating. And when you finish, you can roll over breathing hard and she gonna say, "I love you." What's next? So I wonder what's the attraction with all the other races when we got a donkey in our own race. Beautiful body, mind, ain't gonna ride with you to the end. If she believe in you, if you ain't no hoe ass nigga and she believe in you, she gonna rise with you to the end. So y'all leave me a comment about that. Tell me what's the difference between nowadays y'all fucking these um, white women and Mexican women, all these Europeans, rather than fucking your own sisters. Because I might be missing something. Maybe I need to go back to white women, which I'm not. But maybe I'm missing something. But anyway, this was just about random thoughts. I'm fucked up as usual. But this was my random thoughts for the day, and I really want to get some feedback on this and tell me where I went wrong, tell me where I went right, and set me straight. But it's your boy, Dope Seed. Holla. Peace.